TheGamer.com game journalists say this is what Eternal does better and what 2016 does better. Let's start. Number 10, Doom Eternal does the demons better. I mean, yes, I have to agree. By the time you get halfway through 2016, you've seen everything. You've done it all. Eternal's got you going through Urdak, DLC 1 and 2. Bosses are more varied, although 2016s are cool. We will get to that. Hang in there. But altogether, they give you so many more options, like the weak points and just the whiplashes and carcasses. So much more variety in Eternal. So I agree that Eternal did do demons better than 2016. Number 9, the horror aspect. All right, I gotta agree with thegamer.com here, game journalist, because 2016 had that horror vibe down so good. I mean, you really felt like you were in the nastiest, slimiest, grittiest parts of the game. Not just how the set pieces were laid out, but the color and the atmosphere was just so gritty. I'm not much of a horror guy in general, but man, 2016 set that ominous tone, and they did it right. Now, Eternal didn't want to go for that, so it's intentional, I'm pretty sure, but if they wanted to, I'm sure they could. So yeah, 2016 wins that one. This is going to be controversial. Doom Eternal's storyline is better. Well, some people don't like Eternal's lore. They like 2016's better because it's more traditional Doom, basic, Mars, Hells sort of thing. Now, Eternals goes worldwide, a whole Doom universe, as Hugo has said. And this is what they say here. 2016's story was slightly mysterious on purpose. And I think Eternals meant to go crazier. And some people do like that better, some don't. I can understand. So for this one, it's going to depend on what you really like. I see merits in both. I do kind of miss the 2016 dark, gritty, raw, Doom simple stuff. So that's a tough one to call. The combat, Doom 2016, I'm going to have to probably disagree with this one. Now, look at even what they say. They say it may not seem fair to give the combat to 2016, given how much Eternal has emphasis on action, and saying Eternal switches up combat mechanics don't always work. Well, I mean, I guess it depends. Not everybody in 2016 was like a rocket super shotgun Gauss quick switcher, but altogether there is so much more in 2016. The weak point system does work. Your blood punches, your ice bombs, well, 2016 had stun bomb, you remember. And altogether, I know that they want to say, okay, this is it right here. The biggest problem is lack of relative ammo. Even with upgrades, you run dry in every fight. You have to shift that mindset from 2016, having all the ammo, to incorporating the chainsaw as a core mechanic of your playstyle and gameplay. If you're not going to, you're not going to get in the fun zone, you're not going to drive the Ferrari, so no, I'm sorry. Eternal's got this one, man. This sounds like a user error, to not use the chainsaw enough. And to support the channel at no extra cost to you, just use my Amazon affiliate link in the description. As an associate, I do earn for qualifying purchases, so anytime you get anything off of Amazon, you're helping the channel and it does not cost you a single penny extra. So check it out in the description below if you don't mind. Thanks. All right, Doom Eternal game mechanics. I'm gonna have to agree with this one because the climbing, all the shootable stuff, the environment is so much more interactive. You feel like you're in this arcade game, which is what they meant it to, and you can just do so much more stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, 2016, like I said, the environment itself was awesome, and I would love to see Doom Eternal 2016ified. I understand there are different filters, there are different mods, but I mean the core gameplay experience, just to see. The article does touch on that more, and you need to stick around for that because you'll see. I won't spoil it. So yes, 2016 versus Eternal in terms of game mechanics, Eternal does win because you have so many more things that the Slayer can do in his movement, in his traversal, monkey bar, swimming, which does get a bad rep sometimes from people, but you gotta give it to Eternal for branching out and trying to do it differently there. This is gonna be tough. Number 5, Doom 2016 wins gameplay. Now, this is a little different than combat, okay? So they even say it's close to call, but Doom 2016 gets the win when it comes to overall gameplay. Yes, they did take the classic Doom formula, spin it up. I get that. Doom Eternal may have soldered a few more pieces on the chassis, but it also threw in annoying platform elements that detract from the rhythm of the game. Okay, here's the thing. This is the old pacing argument all over again. And I understand this article came out closer to release, and we're seeing it a year and a half now. This gives us a new, fresh perspective and be able to break down this article. Now, the thing about the platforming, it's meant to give you a break. If you have pure insanity from start to finish, most players, not all, will tire out. You will have a mental fatigue. Your adrenaline will just be like so spiked. And then what? You crash, right? Like the sugar rush crash. So, I understand why they said 2016's gameplay. However, I still think that Eternal takes the edge on this one from all of the stuff you can do. They're saying not just combat, but in general. You explore so many things, and I get it, but I have to edge to Eternal. I am sorry, thegamer.com. I'm edging to Eternal. Number 4, bosses. I love the Helgard fight, and all of 2016's bosses have the same feel. Flat arena, boss. And they're really, you can do them no damage if you really learn their attacks and move around properly. Doom Eternal, although it does get criticism for its bosses, like the Icon basically being a wall, which he was back in 94, and the other things, they did bosses more dynamically, more varied, more spiced up. The Doom Hunter, whole fresh thing. Yes, there were 2 phases, but you actually go to a completely different arena, not just like a Helgard Warp. The Marauder was, we know he's the switch up for sure. Then you have the Gladiator, which is kind of like a big Marauder. You had Khan, Icon, Samur, Dark Lord, which is also like a Marauder. But the whole point is, Doom Eternal had more varied bosses than 2016. 2016s were great. Great, they really were. But let's see what these say here. It does have its fair share of eye-popping encounters, yes. As cool as it was to do the Cyber and Spider Mastermind, I agree it's a callback to the classics. We did see them coming from miles away. Very good. Oh, yeah, the Super Tentacles. What's his name, Mojo? Yeah, there you go. So no, bosses do get Eternal. Like, they just give you so much more. Look how dynamic the Samur fight is compared to other things. Yeah, Eternal wins this one. I'm in agreement here. Ooh, get ready. Environments. 2016. Just look at the UAC picture. The whole aesthetic of 2016, everyone, like, people hated on it. Oh, it's got so many browns, it's got so many reds and oranges. Yeah, the color palette is not that varied. It doesn't want to be that varied. And I think that they grew and were more experienced as they were making Eternal. But the whole point of 2016 was not to be a flashy, colorful, arcade vibe like Eternal had. They wanted to be this dark, bleak, dismal place. When you're in resource operations, res ops, you really feel that nasty inside, gritty, grating construction. I don't even know what I want to call it. It's just that inside vibe. Labs, it's all just a dim, bleak UAC laboratory, as Dexter's called it. The whole point, it's supposed to be a horror game. So environment-wise, 2016 wins in terms of that. Eternal wins by far if you're wanting to look at world building, universe exploration, because you go to so many more places. You just go to Mars and Hell in 2016. You go to Mars, Hell, Earth, Urdak, Holt, everywhere in Eternal. So environments, split down the middle. It all depends on what you're looking for out of it. All right. Support weapons. Yeah. Eternal wins. There's so much more stuff you have. You have the flame belch, 2 grenades instead of 3. You're just the shoulder cannon, as they call it in this article. It really gives you so much more dynamics and different ways to approach the battlefield that 2016 just did not have. It just didn't have them, like the flame belch. That's so cool. It's a flamethrower. It reminds me of Return to Castle Wolfenstein's flamethrower. Look at that. So yeah, I'm agreeing with the game journalist in support weapons. And would you too? Also, comment all your thoughts below. Let me know what you think. And of course, we're going to the number 1 spot. What do you think it's going to be? Doom 2016 music. Oh, this one. Oh. All right, we need to talk about this one. Doom and Mick Gordon's tracks are stuff of legend. Yeah, they are. While the follow-up soundtrack is every bit as vicious as the original, we have to give it to 2016. Perhaps it was the sheer novelty of hearing a good track for the first time, but the tunes are more iconic. While tracks like Slayer Gates or Meat Hook and SGN Super Gorn S retain the original sound, they're no match for Rip and Tear and BFG Division. 2016 has some good tracks. Eternal has some daggone good tracks as well. Meat Hook is the greatest song in the universe, just about. The Only Thing They Fear Is You, Metal Hell, and then of course with the DLCs, after this article was written, Andrew and David killed it too. So that's going to really be one of those opinion pieces. You're going to have your 2016 crowd. You're going to have your Eternal crowd. They're going to be here and there and everywhere, but altogether, it really just depends on what your opinion is. I like both, but if I had to pick one, Eternal wins that one. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and consider becoming a member to get a cool little badge by your name. My name is Allstin. Check the next video here. Thank you for watching.